Good morning, and thanks for your attendance. I'm Erica Harris of Harris Consulting, LLC. I am the Communications Liaison for Stephen at Austin State University, and I'm acting in support of the Communications Department. Let's get straight to the heart of the matter of what brings us here today. I'm here to announce the investigation conducted by the SFA Police Department, which includes possible multiple criminal charges against multiple students, has been handed over to the Nacogdoches County District Attorney's Office. It was delivered yesterday. The Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities continues to interview witnesses and review the evidence of this case. The university's disciplinary investigation is expected to be concluded by the end of next week. At that time, it will be determined what university disciplinary actions will be taken. Now, it's very important to note, the university is not at war with the victim, Kristen Evans, and her family. What she experienced is nothing she asked for. Likewise, neither did the university police or administration. We want Kristen to feel welcome and safe here at SFA. It is our desire to work with her family so they feel much more comfortable having her here. The way the university's response to this unfortunate experience has been recalled, and we totally understand that this was indeed a traumatic experience and subsequently portrayed far and wide, makes it difficult for some to have confidence in our ability to provide for Kristen and each and every student enrolled at our university. SFA, we are committed to transparency. We call on the Evans family to join us in this effort of transparency by agreeing to release the police body cam video of the early morning hours of the incident on September 14th. The body cam video depicts a much different reality than what has been recalled, and far different than the narrative which is being reported in various forms of media of police storming into Miss Evans' room with guns drawn. The video will show that this is not the way the police responded. By releasing the body cam video, it will correct misinformation, bring clarity, and squash the rumors of aggressive police behavior. Most importantly, by releasing the body cam video, it will tone down the divisive rhetoric. Once again, we call on the Evans family to work with us and agree to releasing the body cam video to shine the light on the truth. And absolutely, we want Kristen to know this and her family to know this. We will continue to offer our support during her tenure here at SFA. This concludes this portion of the press conference. I will take questions at this time.
Has Evans filed charges yet for a lawsuit?
All this information that we're slowly getting in about this case is under investigation, of course, but her attorney has not been in touch with us with that intent to file a lawsuit. So the answer, as far as we know, as of today, is no.
You're calling on the family to release the body cam video. What's on it that's going to change the perception?
Well, because of her privacy and state laws that protect her, we cannot release it without her permission. But I can definitely paint a picture for you of what took place in various media reports or say that officers stormed into her room, that officers raided her room, and that is simply not the case. I did see the video, and the police officers involved, they act in a very professional manner. As a matter of fact, they knocked on her door. Not once, not twice, but several times. There was no answer. They did identify themselves. This is the police. Still no answer. Her suite mate gave the officers permission to enter Kristen's room through a door that connects the two dorm rooms. And the officers act professionally in every way. Reports that guns were drawn and pointed at her are definitely not the case. And if we had this opportunity to release the video, it will show just that. It was a dark room, and you have to remember that the police officers responded to a false report that someone was making threats against other students with a weapon. They entered the room, only one officer's weapon was unholstered, and he had a flashlight. And once they determined that there was no threat, it was placed back into the holster. And at that point, they did have a cordial conversation with Ms. Evans. Some of that conversation did take place outside of her dorm room and in the hallway. So that's why we call on the Evans family to agree with us in releasing the body cam video for full transparency.
Are you saying that they're lying about what took place?
I'm not a mind reader, and it would be presumptuous for me to assume what people are thinking. I can only talk about the evidence of the case. That would be a good question to ask them yourself, but on our end, we cannot just assume how others are thinking about this case. We can only discuss the facts.
With how they've been phrasing what happened that night initially, do you think what they've saying is lined up with the truth?
No, what I'm saying is that if they agree to release the body cam video, then everyone will be able to see exactly what happened. And that video depicts a very much different narrative than has been reported in the media. Any more questions?
In the case of a threat arises in a dorm room setting, does only one dorm or suite mate rather need to give consent in order for police officers to enter, or are they able to enter willingly without consent from people living in that dorm room?
That is a good question for our legal counsel, but what I can tell you that once again, state law does protect the habitation of the dormitory room as their habitation. But with the conjoining doors and they're considered suite mates, I would definitely say that each and every person in that dorm room that they share have the right to their privacy.
You also mentioned earlier that you've been interviewing several witnesses during this investigation. What are some of those witnesses that you have been interviewing?
We're not able to discuss that because, as I mentioned, let me just, if you don't mind, I'll explain how this works, especially when you're dealing with a public university. There are actually two, if we want to call it, judiciary systems. The campus police that responded to the false report, they did their investigation, okay? And at that point, they decide whether or not to give that investigation to the district attorney's office. And as I mentioned, that was done yesterday. That's the end of that. That's dealing with possible criminal charges. But the university operates on another judiciary for student conduct. And that particular office is still investigating the incident, and they will be forthcoming with the conclusion of that by the end of the week. So what we have done under this investigation, all the details surrounding that investigation we are bound not to release that information because it has been handed to the district attorney's office, and we do not want to impede or interfere with that investigation.
You also mentioned earlier that this would be, if this was concluded by the end of the week, you would draw up possible charges against the people who filed the false claim. What specific charges is the university considering?
Let's be clear that any possible criminal charges, that will be determined by the county DA's office. Disciplinary action against the students here on campus can range anywhere from suspension to expulsion. But once again, we cannot be too forthcoming on that because that is still under investigation.
With the investigation ongoing, what information is the university still trying to learn about the case?
We are wrapped up here as far as the SFA Police Department. If there are extra evidence that the police department finds worthy, they will deliver that to the DA's office. But at this point, everything that we have at this time involving the incident has been handed over to the district attorney's office. So this is, in fact, an ongoing investigation.
Have the suitemates who made the false report, have they been cooperative during this investigation, or have they not really been cooperative with campus police and the district attorney's office?
Once again, that's under investigation, and all the details that are in that investigation we cannot discuss at this time to jeopardize the investigation of the DA's office. Any more questions?
Has Evans been in contact with your offices recently just about trying to find a solution to this matter, or have they been distant from this investigation, trying to push a different narrative?
Ms. Evans and her family, they have hired an attorney. They're seeking his counsel. We have not directly talked about resolve at this point. So everything and all the information about this case, as far as they're commenting on it, has come from their attorney.
Does the false report given by these suitemates fall anywhere under Title IX, for instance?
That would be a question for legal counsel.
What is the university hoping after the end of this, after this holding pattern? What is your end goal for the university and for the Evans family?
Well, our ultimate hope is that we can all find a happy conclusion to this case, that there will be closure, that those who are responsible will be held accountable for the actions that they've done, and that Ms. Evans will be able to heal, that the community will be able to heal. Once again, by releasing the body cam footage, it gives the community the opportunity to do just that, to be able to come together and unite as a community and rally support behind Ms. Evans whenever she needs it. But in order for us to move forward with part of that healing process, with our commitment to remain transparent, we most definitely would like the Evans family to agree with us, to work with us, to bring about the unity, to help us bring clarity to this, to help us stomp out the divisive rhetoric so that this community can heal.
Has the university ever had a precedent where students made a false claim about a threat on campus? And if so, what was the course of action given to those students?
I am not aware of any of those claims. I don't believe there has been. We could definitely take a look at police records dating back several years to be able to give you a more clear answer on that.
Is there any normal, I guess going off, not basically the precedents, but just going off, is there any sort of normal course of action the university takes whenever someone files a false claim?
There is, in the case that's at hand, there has been nothing if I may say, normal about this case. But the university's police department is charged, it is their duty to work diligently to get the facts. And that's what we've done here.
One more question, sorry.
Nope, no
That's
apologies.
my question, trying to figure out exactly what I haven't asked. The chief of police claimed that the group of students who made a false report were a biracial group of students. What did he mean by that?
Exactly what he said. We want to be clear that initial reports, the rush to judgment that this was a racially motivated incident is completely false. The makeup of those involved are both African American and white. Any more questions? Well, thank you so much for joining us today.